You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Yamile Nader. Butler Township Police have identified the man that led them on a 6-mile chase Sunday night. A patrolling officer states he witnessed 22-year-old Ava Maranta from Hazleton driving erratically at the intersection of South Hunter Highway and Stonecroft Road. Maranta allegedly passed the officer at a high rate of speed, and police tried to stop him, but his speed increased to between 100 and 120 miles per hour. After a nearly 6-mile chase, Maranta suddenly stopped his SUV near the intersection of South Mountain Boulevard and Mountain Top, where police were able to put him under arrest. The report states Maranta told officers he was, quote, sorry for doing that, and, quote, having a bad day, unquote. He was taken to Lucerne County Correctional Facility on $7,500 bail. The Hazleton Fire Department responded to a 2-car accident on South Bullard Street and Arthur Garner Highway Monday morning. One car came to a rest in the intersection, and the other rolled over onto its roof and landed against a light pole, as you can see in these photos shared on their Facebook page. There's no word on if there were any injuries. Hazleton Police Department is investigating the cause of the crash. Hanover Township Police are looking for this man, Nehemiah Joseph Samuel, for allegedly stealing a firearm. Investigators say the 20-year-old Wilkes-Barre man stole a gun from a residence on Mark Drive in Hanover Township. They have charged him with theft, receiving stolen property, and reckless endangerment. If you see Samuel, police warn that you should not approach him and call 911 immediately. If you have any tips on his whereabouts, you can call 570-825-1250. Hazleton police are asking for the public's help in locating a wanted man. Officers are searching for William John Fox, who also goes by the name Harold Thomas. He's wanted in connection with a traffic stop that happened on August 24, 2024, during which police say drug-related items were found that led to a search warrant for the vehicle. Fox is now facing several charges, including possession of drug paraphernalia. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is urged to call 911. Contact the Hazleton Police Department at 570-459-4940. Email tips@hazletonpd.org or submit a tip through the Hazleton Police Department's Crime Watch page. All tips will remain anonymous. The Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission is under fire after approving over $367,000 in raises for top executives, all funded by toll revenue. The decision comes as toll rates are set to rise again in 2026, continuing a long trend of annual increases. The raises were approved back in March, with 6 executives now make over $250,000 annually, with CEO Mark Compton receiving the largest raise of $86,000, bringing his salary to $348,000 a year. Officials cited a wage study and a need for, quote, leadership retention in alignment with market standards as reasons for the raises. Some lawmakers are pushing for legislation to limit steel poles, especially for drivers without an easy pass who use the highway infrequently but still face high fees. Area officials held a public hearing in Archibald yesterday on the future development of data centers in our area. Pennsylvania Senators David Argyle and Rosemary Brown hosted the hearing to inform residents on the risks and benefits on data centers. Testimony came from multiple panel experts on local impacts, energy and water resources, economic development, and construction and workforce. Over 300 attended the hearing, with hundreds more watching online. Some of the attendees still have questions on cost and how it will affect local resources, but hope those will be answered as local Pennsylvania governments decide on future data centers. Area grocery stores say that an issue with using EBT cards have been resolved. On Monday afternoon, many Lucerne County residents were not able to use their EBT cards at stores like Garrity's in Luzerne, Wegmans in Wilkes-Barre Township, and Wise in Doria. All stores report that the system is back up and running today, but a Garrity's manager said that the issues have been occurring since this month's card went out last week. There's no word on what caused the outage. Coming up on WYLN News, plans for a recycling plant in Sugarloaf have been axed, and find out how you can get a flu vaccine at your local grocery store. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Wyln News brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton's emergency room team. Your experts in any emergency. When emergencies happen, minutes and expertise count. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton is now part of Jefferson Health.
Hi, my name is Melania. Tomorrow it's going to be really rainy, so make sure you bring your umbrella.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Watch Solo Spaceman on WYLN Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 7, and Sundays at 4:30.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Attention, WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
Welcome back to WYLN News. An Ohio-based company has scrapped its plans for building a new recycling plant in Sugarloaf Township. Altera Energy notified the Sugarloaf Township Board of the change in a letter on Friday, stating that the owner of the proposed property at 42 Tom Hackett Road no longer wants to lease the location. They say the landowner believes the property value has increased due to the proposed transmission lines nearby and hopes to sell as part of the data center project. Altera believes that purchasing the location no longer fits into their proposed development model and timeline. The company's head of public affairs says the company is still looking for locations in Hazleton and Sugarloaf for the new plant. Flu and pneumonia vaccinations are now available at all Giant and Martin Pharmacy locations. Getting vaccinated while you're at the store for groceries offers a convenient way to keep yourself healthy through cold and flu season. Walk-ins are welcome, but appointments are also an option. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends that everyone 6 months and older get a flu vaccination annually, especially those who are at the risk of developing serious complications from the flu, like people with diabetes, pregnant women, adults over 65, those with asthma and other chronic lung diseases, kidney and liver disorders, heart disease, and those with compromised immune systems. Most insurance plans cover flu shots at zero copays, including Medicare Part B. For more information, you can visit the Giant and Martin's websites or download the free Giant and Martin's Pharmacy app. If you're traveling to see the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania has added enhanced real-time traveler info to 511 PA to help you get there. The travel information website now features an icon at the top of the page to direct you to route information and traffic alerts that are specific to the World Series area. You can also access it through the web address www.511.pa.com/map/page/LLWS. PennDOT hopes that by highlighting common routes from all over the state and their travel times, congestion won't be too much of an issue for fans coming to see the games. Catholic Social Services in Hazleton invites the community to their city-wide adventure hunt starting tomorrow the 13th through August 25th. It is a free event where participants can visit local businesses and organizations to collect stamps on a special stamp card. You can earn points based on level of engagement like visiting, purchasing, or donating to the participating businesses. The more you visit, the more points you will earn. To win the hunt, the participant with the most points at the end will be the winner, and if there is a tie, the participant that submitted their card first wins. Winners will receive cash prizes, including a grand prize of $500. Official forms and a list of businesses on the hunt can be picked up at the Catholic Social Services Hazleton at 200 West Chapel Street. Yesterday, the Pennsylvania Game Commission began round 3 of issuing antlerless deer hunting licenses to residents and non-residents. Hunters can now also purchase DMAP permits. All licenses and permits are on first-come, first-served basis and can be issued in person or online. Hunters must have a DMAP permit or a landowner coupon to purchase. The cost is $10.95 for residents and $35.95 for non-residents. For more information, visit their Facebook page or website at pa.gov/pgc. Coming up on Freeland's News Choice, we check in with Trooper Petrosky on this week's Trooper Talk Tuesday. And Chris Fulmer takes us on the path through history with part 2 of Danville. Stay right here on WYLN News. We'll be right back.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Cooking rice just isn't nice. Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with Rice Robot, the 1, 2, 3 rice cooker. Watch. 1, add the white cup for rice. 2, add the blue cup for water. 3, click it and let Rice Robot perfectly cook it. The secret is Perfect Cook technology that surrounds the rice with controlled heat for even cooking. Then Rice Robot senses when it's done, auto stops and keeps it warm to serve. It won't burn, overcook or undercook, guaranteed. And rice is just the beginning. Make mac and cheese, frittatas, oatmeals, soups and stews, even ramen dishes. And with a ceramic ultra non-stick interior, cleanup's a breeze.
Get the complete Rice Robot cooking system with the steamer tray and 1-2-3 recipe guide, all for just $39.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. We'll even ship your entire order free. Order now.
1-800-640-8545.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, we're going to talk about spinal decompression, where you gently traction the spine to take pressure off of the disc. It has saved people's lives. Literally, they were going to commit suicide. So watch the show, see how traction could help you.
Hi everybody, welcome back to another segment of Trooper Talk Tuesday. I'm Trooper Anthony Petrowski, Troop N, Public Information Officer. Today we're talking about motor vehicle crashes. In Pennsylvania, there's two types of crashes. There's a reportable crash and a non-reportable crash. I'll cover non-reportable crashes first. So, if you get into a minor fender bender, maybe it's in a parking lot, and there's two factors. Number one, there's no disabling damage to the vehicle, meaning both vehicles or however many vehicles are involved, they can be driven from the scene and there's no injuries. That makes it a non-reportable crash in Pennsylvania, meaning all you have to do is swap information with the other drivers. So name, phone number, vehicle information, license plate, and insurance information. Even if you want to take pictures of it with your cell phone, this is a good way to keep it track. And then you can just simply report that to your insurance company. We, as law enforcement, are not required to show up to a non-reportable crash unless there's a problem going on there. If the other person won't exchange information, or maybe if there's a language barrier and you can't get through that situation enough to get that information, contact 911. Law enforcement will come out and then we will absolutely do an investigation and handle the crash investigation. The other types of crashes are reportable crashes. This means that one or more vehicles needs to be towed from the scene and or there are injuries involved. We as law enforcement are required to be there and do an investigation. Now, we will do an investigation. Whoever is at fault will be cited for the crash and we will have our day in court. Now, let's just say you witness a crash. Maybe you're driving somewhere and you see a crash happen or you come up on a crash. The best thing you could do, if you want, you can safely pull off the road and check on the people. Or if you don't do that, you can contact 911 and call the crash in. Give a good location of where it is so we law enforcement can show up and handle our job. Now, let's say you're involved in a crash and you are in the roadway. If you get out, a lot of people think, well, I have to leave the vehicles here so the police can see it. Well, we're more concerned about your safety. So if you can safely move the vehicles off of the road, we would rather that, because if your vehicles are in the road, there's still a risk of cars coming and possibly causing more crashes and more injuries. So if you can, please move the vehicles off the road. If you can't, and your vehicle's still on the road, don't stay in it. Please get off of the road to the side and contact 911 and wait for us to show up. We will do an investigation. Now, let's talk about hit and run crashes. Hit and run crashes when somebody hits a vehicle, whether it's moving or stationary, and they flee the scene. That's called a hit and run crash. If you witness this, call 911. Be a good witness. Give a plate, license plate for the vehicle, a good vehicle description, and direction of travel. This way, hopefully, we can catch up to them. Or if you come out of a store, you come out somewhere and you see your vehicle was struck, contact 911. We will come out. We will do our investigation. Hopefully, look at surveillance. Try to find the person who hit your vehicle. And if we do find them, they will be cited. There are hefty fines along with hit and run crashes. And yes, you will be responsible for it. If you have any more questions involving crash investigations, feel free to contact me at the State Police here in Hazelden. If not, I'll catch you all back here on Trooper Talk Tuesday.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Hey, did you know Wyln posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. Wyln, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
make sure you bring your umbrella.
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book? One that understands the process and upholds Christian values in its business practices?
Introducing Covenant Books, an author-friendly publisher who shares your beliefs and wants to publish your story. Call us today to get a free author packet to help get you started.
We realize your book is unique, personal, and written with a higher purpose. That's the content we're looking for.
We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process with professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the industry.
Covenant distributes and sells your book online and in bookstores everywhere. We convert your book in ebook format and sell it on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and to these distributors. Our authors love us.
So if you've written a biography, a devotional, a memoir, self-help, or any genre, we can help. Be like these authors and get your book published and sold today.
Call right now for your free writer's guide.
1-800-215-3680.
Hello, I'm Wyln historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
A Path Through History is sponsored by the Old Jail Museum, 128 West Broad Street in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-325-5259 or visit them online at theoldjailmuseum.com.
By 1860, Danville had grown into a thriving town. The iron mills poured out their products by the tons, and other businesses operate briskly as well. On August 15th of that year, a crowd between 200 and 500 spectators, depending on the newspaper source, gathered on the bridge over the North Branch Canal and Mill Street. They were there to watch local resident William Fox, performing under the name Professor James Carr, walk a high wire over the canal. Towards the end of his performance, however, the bridge, which had only been installed 3 months prior, gave way under the crowd's weight, dropping them into the canal. Several spectators, including a few children, were seriously injured in the collapse. Everyone would, however, survive. Water, however, would not be so sparing 5 years later in March 1865. Heavy winter snowfall, followed by equally heavy rains, triggered what became known as the St. Patrick's Day flood. Danville was left underwater, the railroad submerged and inoperable, and the North Branch Canal destroyed in several places. Railroads had taken firm root in Danville by this time. The tracks of the Lackawanna and Bloomsburg Railroad had been the first to be laid out through town in 1860. They would eventually become part of the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Westerns line from Scranton to Northumberland. The Danville, Hazleton, and Wilkes-Barre Railroad reached Danville in 1870. It stretched 43 miles from Sunbury to Tom Hick in Luzerne County. The Philadelphia and Erie Railroad gained control of the line in 1872 and reorganized it following bankruptcy proceedings in 1878 as the Sunbury, Hazleton, and Wilkes-Barre Railroad. The line would later be merged with the Pennsylvania Railroad. The Philadelphia and Reading Railroad's tracks also ran through Danville. In 1881, the Philadelphia and Reading brought to Danville a station that had previously stood in Philadelphia to handle attendees of the 1876 Centennial Exposition. This station still stands today, now the location of Buckley Carpet Linoleum. In 1872, what was originally known as the State Hospital for the Insane at Danville was opened southeast of the borough on land previously owned by Daniel Montgomery. It was the third state mental hospital to be opened in the Commonwealth. The hospital would be gutted in a major fire in 1881, believed to have been triggered by a gas explosion. It would take 5 years to fully rebuild it afterwards. The hospital gradually expanded over the years, reaching a high of 2,801 patients. It remains in operation today, which is a much smaller number of patients in its care. For Danville residents who want to be entertained, the Danville Opera House opened December 28, 1873, on the second floor of a building that also had a drugstore and the town post office on the first floor. Admission on opening night was $10. Improvements were made to the building in the early 1900s, and on May 12, 1914, a brand new wireless antenna was installed in the building to allow for the transmission of baseball scores and news to the community. The building was purchased on July 12, 1923 by the Chamberlain Amusement Company, who reworked the venue into a movie theater. What was now called the Victoria Theater students began screening movies for area residents. The final picture show would be on March 7, 1931 with the movie The Great Meadow, although local symphony orchestras would continue playing there for a few years after the movie stopped. The Victoria Theater was torn down in 1937. Several breweries would call Danville home in the late 1800s. One was founded by John Gerstner in 1874. Located on Spring Street, it was taken over by his wife Maria after his death in 1877, who put her name on the company. It became the Stieb and Faber Brewing Company in 1890, then the Polish-Lithuanian Brewing Company in 1895, before landing perhaps its best-known name, the Hanover Brewing Company, in 1905. Under this name, it produced Hanover Lager, Hanover Porter, Hanover Ale, and Hanover Special. The Hanover Brewing Company ceased operations in 1915. A rival Danville brewery also began in 1874, founded by John Bausch. The building, located on East Front and Ferry Streets, was originally built as a Hyatt Mansion as a barrel-making shop in 1840. The Bausch name would remain the brewery in various forms through 1897, at which point it became the Germania Brewing Company. A particular bestseller for the Germania Brewery was its Bock beer, which was often sold at Easter time, since Bock beer was usually brewed during the winter months. The Germania Brewing Company closed in 1920 with the onset of Prohibition. The building was purchased by the McGlow Ice Cream Company in 1922 for use as a distribution center, but it would only last 2 years in this capacity before closing. Federal prohibition agents searched the building in 1925, but did not find any evidence of illegal beer making. Danville would also become a haven for candy lovers in the late 1800s. John Jacobs was born in Germany in 1836. He immigrated to Danville in 1860, and after training in Pottsville, opened his candy store on Mill Street. One of his specialties was clear candy, which originated in Germany and was so named for the clarity of the finished product. Horses, rabbits, and bells were popular mold shapes used by Jacobs Confectionery. Clear candy would be a major seller for Jacobs. For Christmas 1923, for instance, 50 tons of it was produced by 30 workers in shifts going all 24 hours of the day. Jacobs eventually had 2 stores in Mill Street to meet demand. Other treats were also made at Jacobs. Ice cream machines were installed in 1890, and a bread-making machine followed in 1895. Beginning in 1915, and continuing with some interruptions until at least 1952, a large mechanical rabbit would greet patrons in the store's window during the Easter season. John Jacobs' Sons took over the business in 1901 and changed the company name to John Jacobs & Sons. The Upper Mill Street store closed in 1918, but the Lower Mill Street branch continued for decades afterwards. Esther Quigg, daughter of Jacobs' son George, bought the confectionery in 1949. She ran it until it closed in 1961. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Danville would become a hub of innovation and invention, both in the town itself and across the nation. First, there was Christopher Latham Sholes, born near Danville in 1819, who helped to invent the first practical typewriter in 1868. In these early days, over 300 different typing machines had been created for the public, many of them excessively cumbersome and difficult to use. Sholes, who in his early years had learned about publishing at the Danville Intelligencer, would create, in conjunction with fellow inventors Charles Glidden, Samuel Soule, and Matthias Schwalbach, the first practical typewriter in the Milwaukee machine shop of Charles F. Kleinstoiber. After potential backer James Densmore declared the creation was not quite ready for public consumption, Sholes went back to the drawing board and changed his original flat platon to a revolving cylinder, which allowed for typing on a paper of standard thickness. Sholes also improved on an original Schwalbach idea by arranging the typewriter's keys in 4 rows, and upon the suggestion of a potential customer, put a spacebar underneath them. Perhaps his biggest addition to the typewriter came in 1873, when, to prevent jamming, he arranged the letters and the keys in an order that separated commonly used combinations. This arrangement, known as the QWERTY system, remains the standard in today's computer keyboards. Back in Montour County, there would be further innovation. Henry Rempe, a local jeweler, would, in 1903, file a patent for a self-winding watch powered by a small internal battery. He would build a factory on Railroad Street that successfully produced both office and mantel clocks for several years afterwards.
You're watching WYLN TV 35,